There is a force inside you, more powerful than thought, more ancient than words, a force that shapes your reality without you even realizing it. It is the first thing you did when you entered this world, and will be the last thing you do before you leave. Your breath. But here's what they never told you. The way you breathe determines the way you live, and even the way reality responds to you. Ancient cultures understood this secret. The Egyptians, the yogis of India, the shamans of the Amazon, they all used controlled breathing to enter mystical states, access forbidden knowledge, and even alter the course of their lives. In fact, the word spirit, in many languages, is directly linked to breath. The Latin word spiritus means both breath and soul. The Greeks called it pneuma, the vital force of life itself. Why? Because they knew something modern science is only now beginning to uncover. Breath is the key to unlocking higher states of consciousness. You might be thinking, okay, but how does this actually shift my reality? Here's where it gets interesting. Your breathing controls your nervous system, brain waves, and even your perception of time. Scientists have found that deep, rhythmic breathing can alter your brain's chemistry, shifting from stress-based survival thinking to high-frequency creative states. Activate the pineal gland, a tiny organ in your brain often called the seat of the soul, known to release DMT, the very same chemical responsible for mystical visions. Change your energy field, influencing what you attract and repel in your life. If your breath controls your frequency, and your frequency determines the reality you experience, then changing how you breathe means changing everything. Imagine a monk sitting in a Himalayan cave, motionless, yet fully awake in another dimension. Picture an ancient Egyptian priest, using breathwork to access knowledge beyond time. These weren't just rituals. They were technologies. The Tibetan monks used specific breathing methods to generate body heat in freezing temperatures, a practice called tummo. The Sufi mystics used rhythmic breathwork to enter trance-like states and experience divine revelations. The Amazonian shamans combined controlled breathing with sound vibrations to enter alternate realms of existence. And here's where it gets even deeper. What if your breath is the only thing keeping you locked in this reality? Because once you breathe in a certain way, your consciousness expands, time bends, and reality itself begins to shift. But to experience it for yourself, you must first break free from the way you've been conditioned to breathe. And that's exactly what we're about to do next. Imagine this. You close your eyes, take a deep breath, and within moments, everything changes. The air feels electric, time slows, and suddenly, you sense something you've never noticed before. A presence, a doorway, a shift. What if I told you this isn't imagination? What if I told you that by changing the way you breathe, you are breaking the illusion of ordinary reality? Breath is the most overlooked key to unlocking hidden states of existence. It is the one thing connecting you to everything else. And when you control it, you control much more than just your body. You control the space around you. Most people breathe in a way that keeps them stuck. Shallow, unconscious breaths keep your mind in survival mode, locked in a repetitive cycle of stress, fear, and limited perception. It keeps you tuned to a single frequency of reality. The one you've been conditioned to believe is the only one that exists. But the ancient masters knew a secret. When you change the rhythm of your breath, you shift the rhythm of your mind. And when the mind shifts, reality bends with it. Have you ever noticed how, during moments of extreme fear or excitement, your breath stops? It's as if time itself freezes. This is not a coincidence. It's a glitch, a moment when your consciousness detaches from the programmed flow of reality. Now imagine if you could control that moment and expand it. You may have heard of DMT, the mysterious chemical often called the spirit molecule. It's responsible for the surreal visions experienced during near-death experiences, deep meditation, and certain plant medicines. But here's what few people realize. Your body already produces DMT naturally. And guess what? Breath can activate it. Researchers have found that deep, rhythmic breathwork increases cerebrospinal fluid movement, stimulating the pineal gland, the very organ associated with mystical experiences. This means that certain breathing techniques don't just relax you. They can induce altered states of consciousness, spontaneous visions, and even time distortions. People have reported feeling their body dissolve into pure energy. Others experience downloads of knowledge, as if receiving information from a higher intelligence. Some describe a sensation of stepping outside of time, where past, present, and future merge into one. This is not fantasy. This is biology meeting the quantum field. If you've ever felt trapped in a cycle of the same events, emotions, and limitations, it's because you've been breathing the same way. The rhythm of your breath locks you into one version of reality. But by shifting it, you can literally shift timelines. Because once you breathe like this, you are no longer just a passive observer of reality. You become the architect. And now, it's time to learn the exact techniques that unlock this hidden power. Now, let's get to what really matters. The techniques. You've seen how breath controls more than just oxygen levels. It shapes your mind, alters perception, and even unlocks hidden states of consciousness. But how do you use it to shift your reality? The truth is, there isn't just one way. Different breathing patterns activate different frequencies of existence. Some methods are slow and controlled, perfect for rewiring thought patterns and manifesting a new reality. Others are powerful and intense, designed to break you out of the illusion instantly. And then, there are the rare techniques, the ones that have been hidden for centuries, used only by those who understood their power. Let's start with one of the most effective methods, a technique that can shift you into a new state of being within minutes. This technique was made famous in modern times for its ability to instantly change brainwaves. But its roots go much deeper. It was practiced in various forms by ancient Hindu yogis and Taoist masters to enter deep states of meditation and control reality from within. Here's how it works. 1. Inhale deeply through your nose for 4 seconds. 2. Hold your breath for 7 seconds. This builds up energy in your body. 3. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 8 seconds. Imagine all negative energy leaving you. 4. Repeat for at least 4 cycles. What happens next? Your brain slows down, your body enters a deep state of awareness, and your energy field shifts. This technique moves you out of the chaotic survival state into a frequency of creation. It's the perfect method for resetting your mind and breaking free from the old version of yourself. The Wim Hof method is a modern rediscovery of something that ancient warriors, monks, and mystics already knew. That breath can make you superhuman. This method doesn't just calm the mind. It supercharges your body, activates hidden energy reserves, and gives you access to heightened states of perception. Try this. 1. Take 30 deep breaths, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Each breath should be full, but don't force it. 2. On the last exhale, hold your breath. Wait until your body naturally demands air. 3. Inhale deeply and hold for 15 seconds, then release. 4. Repeat the cycle 3 times. What happens next? Your body is flooded with oxygen, your mind enters a heightened state, and you may even experience a natural DMT effect. Some report seeing colors, patterns, or even visions. Others feel a deep sense of connection to something greater. And then, there's a technique that takes everything even further. Used by ancient Kundalini practitioners, this technique is designed to purge negativity, increase magnetic energy, and make manifestation nearly instant. 1. Breathe in and out rapidly through your nose. 2. Keep your breaths shallow but controlled. Your stomach should move like a bellows. 3. Continue for at least 1 minute. Gradually increase the time as you master it. This technique charges your body like a battery. It builds up so much energy that your aura expands, making your thoughts, intentions, and desires much more powerful. These techniques are not just exercises. They are keys. Keys that unlock different states of being, different versions of reality. And the more you practice them, the more you will see reality itself bend in ways you never imagined. But what happens when breath doesn't just shift your perception, but actually starts influencing the universe around you? That's what we're about to uncover next. At this point, you've learned how specific breathing techniques alter your consciousness. But here's the real secret. They don't just change you, they change everything around you. The ancients believed that breath was more than just air entering the lungs. They saw it as the bridge between the physical and the unseen forces that shape reality itself. In fact, in nearly every spiritual tradition, the word for breath is the same as the word for spirit or life force. Prana, chi, pneuma, ruach. They all point to the same truth. Breath is power, and when you control it, you control something much bigger than just your own body. But how does this actually work? Everything in existence vibrates at a specific frequency. Your thoughts, emotions, and even the reality you experience are just patterns of energy. When you breathe a certain way, you are literally shifting your frequency, like tuning a radio to a different station. Slow, deep breathing aligns you with a state of peace and clarity, pulling in experiences that match. Rapid, intentional breathing activates the body's energy centers, making you a magnet for high-vibration realities. Breath-holding techniques create a temporary void, a reset point where you can imprint new intentions. This isn't just theory. Quantum physics confirms that the observer affects the observed. Your state of being alters how reality responds to you, and breath is the fastest way to change your state. But let's take it even further. Here's where things get interesting. Ancient mystics and modern energy workers alike discovered that the way you exhale can directly influence your ability to manifest. Try this. 1. Visualize a desire with crystal clarity, not just as a thought, but as a reality you are already experiencing. 2. Take a deep breath in, holding that image in your mind. 3. As you exhale, whisper the intention under your breath. This works because the vibration of your voice carries energy into the physical world. 4. Repeat this for at least 3 cycles. But instead of hoping, feel as if it's already happening. The key is in the exhale. In many spiritual traditions, exhalation is the act of releasing energy into the universe. And when done with intention, it sends out a signal, a pulse of frequency that reality begins responding to. But here's the part most people overlook. Ever noticed how time feels different depending on your breath? When you're anxious, breathing fast, time seems to rush uncontrollably. But in moments of deep focus, when your breath slows down, time stretches. This isn't just perception. Your brainwave state shifts with breath. And your brainwaves are linked to how you experience time. Beta waves, fast breath time speeds up, reality feels chaotic. Alpha waves, slow, rhythmic breath time slows down, you enter flow state. Theta waves, deep, meditative breath you access past memories, intuition, and subconscious programming. Delta waves, breath-holding states you enter a realm beyond time, where manifestation becomes effortless. The greatest sages knew this. Control your breath, and you control time itself. And when you can manipulate time, even in subtle ways, you are no longer bound to the same cause and effect patterns as everyone else. But what happens when this breath-altered state isn't just temporary? What if you could make it your new default reality? That's where the final step comes in. If you've followed this journey, you now understand something most people will never realize in their lifetime. The way you breathe is more than a biological function. It's a hidden key to shifting consciousness, altering time, and influencing the very fabric of reality. But here's the real challenge. How do you make this permanent? Most people experience reality shifts in fleeting moments. A deep meditation, a breathwork session, a dreamlike state where everything feels different. But then, they slip back into old patterns. Why? Because their breath, and therefore their energy, falls back into the rhythm of their past. The masters of energy, the yogis, monks, and mystics who seem to live outside the normal rules of existence, all understood this. To shift permanently, you must make your breath an unconscious tool. So how do you do this? The 24-hour awareness method. Instead of only using these breath techniques in a practice session, the real power comes when you integrate them into every moment of your day. Try this experiment for the next 24 hours. 1. Observe your breath constantly. Notice when it speeds up, when it slows down, when it feels forced, when it flows naturally. 2. Whenever you feel tension, shift your breathing intentionally. Use the 4-7-8 technique to reset. 3. Before any major decision, take a conscious breath. This aligns you with higher intuition instead of unconscious reaction. 4. Throughout the day, practice micro-breathwork moments. Even 30 seconds of deep breathing before entering a room can change your energy completely. By doing this, you begin rewiring reality at its core. But there's one more layer to this. The sigh of creation, unlocking the final shift. Have you ever noticed that when something truly profound happens, you instinctively take a deep breath and exhale with a sigh? That isn't random. It's an ancient mechanism built into your very being. In many esoteric traditions, the act of creation itself began with breath. In Hindu philosophy, Brahma breathes the universe into existence. In Kabbalistic teachings, the divine name is spoken through breath. In Taoist practice, breath is seen as the unifying force of all things. The key, sighing intentionally as a way to seal reality shifts. Here's how it works. 1. Breathe in deeply while focusing on a new reality, one where you already are the version of yourself you seek. 2. Hold for a few seconds, letting the image fully form. 3. Exhale with a natural, relieved sigh, like you've just arrived. 4. As you sigh, feel the shift locking in, not as something coming in the future, but as something that has already happened. This simple act aligns your energy field instantly. You'll notice that things begin shifting around you. Small signs at first, then bigger changes. Opportunities appear. People react to you differently. The world itself feels lighter. Why? Because you are no longer in the same reality you were before. And that brings us to the final realization. You were never just breathing air. You were breathing reality itself. Every breath is a choice to remain in the old version of yourself, or to shift into something new. The reason most people stay stuck is that their breath is on autopilot, repeating the same patterns, keeping them trapped in the same timeline. But now, you know the truth. You can breathe differently. You can shift at will. And once you do, reality has no choice but to shift with you. The only question left is, where do you want to go next?